Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we are back in the Des Moines. I don't know how long it's been since I played the Des Moines, but tonight I was going to play, not the Des Moines, I was going to play the Worcester. But I kept getting in matches where it was all cruisers, and playing the Worcester in a match full of cruisers is just not a lot of fun. At least not in my opinion. I would much rather be in a Worcester in a match where it's a small map where I get to utilize island cover and farm battleships. Yeah, of course, I get in the Des Moines and suddenly that match occurs. Small map, lots of island cover, and battleships. You can't make it up, folks. But not just any battleships, battleships that are fully capable of overmatching us. We've got the Temeraire, we've got the Marco Polo, we've got, I don't remember everything else, but there's a few different battleships on the enemy team, and that all over, I think it was a Dyson, yeah. But anyway, we're going to try to push off to the right side of the map and do our job. We don't have spotting over here, so my job early on is to try to get somebody spotted through this gap. Now, I've got to be careful because spotting with a cruiser, you're probably going to get spotted back. That's generally how this works. So, we spot the enemy defense. I have a Loria and a Palmer behind me. This guy should not get away with being broadside. Well, I guess he's slightly angled, but he shouldn't get away with it. And he does get slapped for his trouble. We get a couple of salvos out there, and between him and the Temeraire, we managed to take about 10,000 hit points off of them. So, a pretty decent trade. Now, what I didn't realize was that in a moment, I'm going to get detected. I thought that it was a destroyer that spotted me. I was wrong. It's in fact not a destroyer at all. It's the Marco Polo on the enemy team. So I activate my radar, a little prematurely, because I thought, oh, there's a destroyer out here. I was wrong. So now that we've got that figured out and wasted radar number 1, we're going to try to get over here. I don't need to push into the cap here because if you look at the positioning of my Pommern, he's about to move into the cap. So the enemy is not going to get this cap anytime soon, at least without killing our Pommern. Now we finally get a shot at the Temeraire here. We get the front guns around the island. I think they may have cleared, but then again, maybe not. Maybe they did get eaten by the trees. But we're over here trying to use the island cover. We don't have any spotting. So we get out onto the flank. Now Temeraire, 9 times out of 10, is going to be shooting HE. So I'm like, okay, we're fine. We'll just angle a little bit, try to get a little bit spicy here, get some beautiful pins with this amazing armor piercing, and that's when I see the armor piercing coming in, and I'm like, oh god, no. Yeah, that hurt. That hurt a lot, actually. Why? Why is it that the one person that can overmatch me is the one guy that has AP loaded in a Temeraire? Like, when does this happen? It just doesn't. I thought I was the only person that would be willing to shoot AP out of a Temeraire once in a while. But apparently not. But fortunately for me, the Temeraire's ability to try to get all of his guns on target to shoot me backfires because he loses all of his health in the process. So, win-win. I survived with taking a lot of damage, but still okay. I get a heal back, and then the Temeraire is going to go down pretty quick. We get another shot out, and we get the first fisting ribbon of the match. And that's when the Pommern's Hydro comes on. And so he has the defense spotted. And I am in the perfect position to fire and farm this defense from the backside of an island. This is beautiful. You love to see it. Like, I never get this opportunity in any cruiser ever, right? But unfortunately, I squander a good chunk of this because I drift too far forward and we start shooting the island next to us. So we have to start reversing. You can see I am reversing, but still blasting the island in front of me because still can't clear the island. And then as we back up, we are going to be able to clear the island and start farming this defense even more. And you can see it doesn't matter if we use AP or HE, we're going to be chunking this man. He really doesn't have a lot of armor. We don't get a chance to see what he's up to, and he is opening or closing the angle on us, so it's hard for us to get more consistent penetrations unless we get the penetrations through the deck. But as the Pommern decides to go around the corner, enough provocations was enough to push that defense out of his position. He's like, I can't just sit here and get farmed for nothing. So he decides to YOLO forward into the Pommern. You see how this works? Now, As the defense YOLOs forward into the Pommern, I don't want to leave my Pommern by himself. I ping the map to let my my Loria know that they're, hey, just as a heads up, there are battleship and cruiser in middle of map. Don't get yeeted, alright? Lorias are known for getting yeeted. But we push forward, try to help our Pommern out, so make sure that he loses as little health as possible in this situation. Defense comes charging out, goes full broadside, and you can see the torpedoes are going to force the enemy, or force our Pommern into turning. And the Pommern does a good job of dodging. Now here, I end up wasting another radar because I thought he was going to smoke up, and he did smoke up, but fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you want to look at this, the friendly Loria had a shot on him and got the kill, which is fine. The whole reason I radared was to make sure that the guy died. I didn't want him getting away. I didn't want him getting one of those big heals off and being a problem for another 5 minutes for no reason, right? So, getting rid of him was the big thing, but unfortunately we didn't need to radar there. It was kind of a quick radar. I just, you know, saw it coming, and then we get nudged by our friendly Pommern. Now, up to this point, our Loria, other than beaching himself on the island behind us, other than that, our Loria and our Pommern have both played pretty well. So we're going to get into the cap, and we're going to set up a crossfire. And this is something you guys talk about, or I talk about all the time on the channel. Go where your team isn't to set up crossfires. Crossfires work both ways, folks. All right? When you get a crossfire set up, one of two things will happen. A, you're in a crossfire. Not the case in this process, or in this particular game. Or B, you and your teammates get to benefit from farming the person in the crossfire that you set up. Now, sometimes this means that you're going to get the damage because the enemy has to bow tank your battleships, for instance, and so they stay broadside to you. And sometimes you are going to be the one that the enemy focuses on, and so your teammates are going to be the ones that benefit from the crossfire. But at the end of the day, the goal should be to win. Doesn't matter who gets to benefit from the crossfire on your team, whether it's you or a teammate, but at the end of the day, crossfires are going to win you games. So, go where your team isn't. Plain and simple. That's how you create crossfires. Now, we managed to grab the cap, and we're going to push around to the corner to make sure that we put ourselves in position to farm this Marco Polo. I don't have a radar, unfortunately. Marco Polo is going to use his smoke screen, as you can see, because he got detected by our battleships for a moment. And we're going to go ahead and try to get ourselves in position to start farming, not the Marco Polo, but the Colombo and the defense. Marco Polo's not even a threat. He can't spot for himself unless we get too close and have our smoke firing penalty going, but he can't spot for himself at the moment. So we get to use his smoke screen and island cover to protect us and shoot at the enemy team while they can't do anything about us. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you, there are a lot of people on our team that get caught out being broadside stationary on the back side of the map. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little annoying. I can't stand that. I'm like, guys, stop dying. Just stop dying. We can do this. We can pull this back. You just need to not die, right? We need to, you know, be smart. We're gonna be able to get the B cap. That's not a problem, right? We just gotta move into position to do so. So, as we push forward, I want to keep myself safe from Marco Polo and farm the Colombo and the defense. This is, once again, taking advantage of a crossfire, but not putting myself in the middle of one, right? By using the island to my right to protect me from the Marco Polo, I can sit here and use myself to farm the guys on the left. Now, as they fire their guns, both the Colombo, well, Colombo's smoke firing penalty for a battleship is fantastic, but both of these guys have big guns, meaning they have relatively large smoke firing penalties, especially when you're comparing to a Des Moines. Des Moines, I believe, has one of the best smoke firing penalties for 8-inch guns. Now, defense gets spotted here. We get the HE out initially, and then we go ahead and load up the AP. We go ahead and get that out. Now, the guy was barely moving, so we know we're going to hit him with the AP as well. And we get another nasty hit on him. And as I close the distance, I get the radar off, and we get the defense spotted again. Now, we've got the AP loaded. He is angling. He gets a shot out at us, which we knew would likely happen, and he does catch us a little over angle. Maybe hits our superstructure a little bit here, but we're fine. and we get another fire on the defense, which is pretty much guaranteed to finish him off, but our Pommern comes around the corner and finishes him off too. But unfortunately for the Pommern, he ran face first into the defense's torps. Now, if you're charging a cruiser that has torps, expect the torps to be there. Now, maybe he's like, well, I'll just survive it, and I'll be able to kill the guy and move on. Colombo, on the other hand, has pushed forward. Marco Polo, thank God, goes for the big hit, hits our belt. But now we're in a situation where there's a freaking Worcester on our right flank, and he's going to be a bit of a problem while I'm trying to shoot these freaking battleships. I've got to try to dodge the incoming shells from a Marco Polo and Colombo, while at the same time trying to not get farmed by one of the highest DPM cruisers in the game, right? This is no bueno. So we managed to keep our damage control. We're fine. The Loria coming through again in the clutch to slap the Colombo, as he should. These are the crossfires, okay? Having our teammates in a position over there on the other side, having us come back from our flank, not going all the way around the map, but coming through the middle, grabbing the cap, putting ourselves in position to do some good things to help the team. These are the ways that you win games, and a lot of people don't understand that concept. A lot of people will simply sit in one spot the entire game and then wonder why they lose. At the end of the day, it is a domination match. Generally speaking, the team that controls the caps wins. That's how that works, right? So if you give up map control and cap control early, and you don't have a plan to take it back, you're gonna lose. That's just how it works. Now, you'll see that the enemy Worcester is farming our battleship that's in the middle. So we almost rolled out of the cap here. I ain't gonna lie. I was about to go because I saw it getting close to being finished, and that I seen it get reset. I'm like, mother, what's going on? I didn't realize there was still a battleship in here and that he was still being farmed. Now, I know that the last known of the enemy destroyer was over here on the Charlie cap. There's only two people left. One of them is the Worcester, one of them is the Caba. So, we have all of the caps. There's absolutely no reason for me to sit around and win this game by points. I need to go on the offensive here. I can spot for my team, I can tank some damage. I don't have a lot of health, but I have enough that I should be able to get into a gunfight with a Worcester. And if given an opportunity, I would love to slap a Worcester around with some armor piercing. Because, unfortunately, I just haven't had that opportunity in the Des Moines. I mean, we did slap a little bit of the defenses with the AP, but we didn't really get a chance to use the AP all that much in this match. And you know, I love my armor piercing on my Des Moines. But as we push in, the unthinkable happens. We're going to put ourselves into a crossfire. And this is no bueno. Now, it's going to be readily apparent that this crossfire is very bad for our health because of two things. One, both of the ships that are against us have a high DPM. We have a low health, right? We only have 23,000 hit points left. I'm located, so I know that I'm the closest person to the enemy ships, right? It's pretty obvious if you're basing everything off of the fact that you know that there's an enemy cruiser out there, you know that there's an enemy destroyer out there. Now, I have to make the decision. Where do I think the enemy destroyer is? Now, I get this decision made for me when I get spotted. And I thought that it was the enemy destroyer spotting me. I was wrong. It was actually the Worcester, and the Worcester immediately gets into a gunfight with me. Which, under normal circumstances, is fine. Despite his high DPM, his shells are a lot floatier than mine. And he's also a lot less agile, meaning it's a lot easier for me to hit him than it is for him to hit me at these ranges. Even at these, medium ranges, he's going to struggle to hit me. Unless, of course, I have another target that I have to attend to, like a Caba. Also, I have teammates that are capable of slapping him around as well. And that's when the Caba lights up, and I have a brown pants moment, because Caba is at 5 kilometers away from me. This is bad for multiple reasons. One, he's got black hole torpedoes. Fortunately, I have my sonar running. And second, he could absolutely citadel it out of me if given the opportunity. But it's at this moment I realize he's AFK. He's not actually playing. Also, I forget about the armor belt of the Caba being a problem, and I end up taking way too long to kill him, and that gives the Worcester a chance to kill me. We get the shot out at the Kaaba, and of course, in true Spartan fashion, leave him with just enough to get away and give us the fisting, or the fisting medal this time, not just the ribbon, as we get our 5th assist ribbon in the match. We get a shot out at the enemy Worcester, and unfortunately succumb to the fires, and yeah. Not an ideal way to end, but still, we did everything we needed to do, got ourselves a helping hand, and when was the last time that you saw 3 different people on the same team get 3,000 base XP? So shout out to the Loria, and shout out to the Zhao. Well done to both of them. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Did you enjoy this? And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.